It's me who I do it for.
I do it for my family. I do it for my baby. And for the dream that I've carried in my heart since I was 16 years old. But you have to find your why.
They ask me who I do it for. Hey, yeah.
Because what they don't see is the behind the scenes struggle. The moments where I wanted to give up. The moments when I felt like I wasn't enough. And the moments when I let the judgment and the insecurities get to me. At the start of last year, my business was thriving. I was having consistent 5K months. I was building a life that I could only dream of being a stay-at-home mom. Because the year before that, I was struggling to make ends meet, struggling to find a job, and I did not want to put that burden on my husband. But to top it all off, what literally made me feel like my life was crumbling was that I found out I was pregnant again, right at the peak of my success. Now, of course, with an unplanned pregnancy, at first, I was a little afraid because I was asking myself, how could I possibly continue to run this business with another baby on the way? And I was already dealing with a toddler. So slowly but surely, the pressure started getting worse, ultimately leading into a slight depression because I was wondering, how could I also care for those who've cared for me?
So to know me is to know that my grandfather is one of my favorite people. So for him, I'm doing him like a little gift basket because not only like is it for his Christmas, but it's also a thank you because he took me to so many of my prenatal appointments. And he didn't have to. They were an hour away, but he did it willingly every single time. So yeah, this is a thank you. So I got some of his favorite snacks.
And so over the time, I was really getting closer to God because while I was trying to accept my new reality, I dropped everything that had to do with my business. I dropped something completely that was in the midst of changing my family's life because I was too blind to see the blessing in the lesson at this time. I felt like I was failing at everything: my business, my role as a mom, my own mental health. But through that dark season, I realized something, that God was trying to tell me that it's okay to start over. He wanted to see that if something was to come into my way, would I keep pushing or would I give up? Because that has been a trend in my life, since always giving up when something got hard. And that's exactly what I did when I found out I was pregnant again. So if you're watching this, it's okay to start over. It doesn't mean you failed. It just means you've been brave enough to keep pushing. Now, as I look back on this past year, the highs, the lows, and the moments I thought I wouldn't make it, I honestly see the beauty in this journey. Every single struggle has shaped me. Every setback prepared me for the next step. And now I'm stepping into this new year with a renewed sense of purpose. There were honestly days when it felt impossible to show up. I'd be super exhausted, overwhelmed, and questioning if I'd even were cut out for this. Because I can remember one specific day, my toddler was running around, my inbox was overflowing, I was super nauseous, and I just sat on the floor crying because I felt like everything was just slipping through my fingers. But sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is stop, breathe, and remind yourself that this is just a season, and seasons change. What feels heavy today won't feel this way forever. And in these moments, I started to lean on my faith more than ever because I realized I couldn't carry this all on my own. I had to let go of perfectionism and lean into the process. Because as it says in the Bible in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will guide your paths. So that's exactly what I had to let him do. Now, while I was letting God do his work, I also had to learn to give myself grace. I had to let myself know that my feelings were valid. And I also had to tell myself that I could not be everything to everyone all the time and not take care of myself. I had to remember that taking care of myself isn't selfish, it's necessary. And so I want you to remember that as well. So coming out of that season, I knew I needed to rebuild, not just my business, but myself. Because I knew that as I was about to bring another life into this world, I had to be stronger than ever. So I started focusing on the small and intentional actions every single day.
Once again, my granddad's my favorite person. So I'm crying while writing his freaking thank you card. Oh my God. Okay. I gotta finish this so I can stop crying.
So instead of trying to do everything for everyone else, I asked myself, what's one thing I can do today to move closer to my goals? So for my business, that meant simplifying. I focused on creating digital products that truly helped people and started showing up on platforms like my beloved TikTok. And I also created a safe space for women as well, also able to help on their journey. Now, as for you guys that are watching, what is a lesson that you've learned from your own challenges? Because for me, it meant that I had to figure out my why. Kids, my family, my husband, my dream of building a legacy that they can be proud of. Because when you are clear of your why, it gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when it gets hard. I started prioritizing my mental health, whether it was journaling, DIY products around the house, praying, or just stepping outside for some fresh air. I made space to take care of me because how can I pour into my family my friends, and my mentees if I'm running on empty. So if you are a mom trying to balance a million things at once, I want you to know that you're doing enough. You are enough. There is no rule book on how to do this perfectly. It's about showing up every single day in the best way that you see fit. But if you were wondering, here are some things that worked for me. I started setting boundaries for my time because I had to learn it's okay to say no to some things that don't align, especially with your priorities. Learn to focus on my progress. Do not focus on perfection. Also, celebrate every small win because it does add up. Most importantly, remember your why. Why will be the only thing that will keep you pushing on your most hardest days. And this is what I had to remember those days that I was glued to my bed because I was stuck in the current and I wasn't believing in the future that God had planned for me. I learned to embrace the unexpected. Life rarely goes according to our plans, but sometimes those detours bring the greatest blessings because this season taught me resilience. It taught me that success does not equal constant upward progress. All about how you handle those dips and detours because this moment of uncertainty pushed me to think more creatively, how to pivot, and how to trust God's plan for my life. So if you're in this season right now, just know that you are being prepared for something greater. So as I look ahead to this new year, I'm filled with so much hope. I know that there will still be some challenges, but I know that I'm stronger because of what I went through, and I definitely want the same for you. So if this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments, what is your why? Let's inspire and encourage one another because we all could use some accountability. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so we can keep growing together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting my journey and for letting me be a part of yours. Here is to a new year of growth, resilience, and grace because the challenges that you are facing today are shaping the strength and wisdom you'll need for tomorrow.